Dentro de 6 años, este será el principal escenario del mayor espectáculo del mundo, la Copa Mundial de la FIFA 2022. Arquitectónicamente será deslumbrante y vanguardista. Es el Estadio Internacional Jalifa remodelado, situado en la zona Aspire, que forma parte del complejo de la ciudad deportiva de Doha, en Qatar. Pero este bello espectáculo tiene su lado oscuro. La historia de los hombres que están construyendo los estadios en los que se jugará el torneo de fútbol y de quienes están ajardinando las zonas que lo rodean.
What we're dealing with here is workers facing the most appalling conditions, some of them facing forced labor.
Sometimes I feel like I'm in prison.
Do you really want to be watching the Football World Cup in 2022, thinking about workers who face abuse building the stadium where the world's top talent in football are playing?
Each time I get my salary, I'm thankful to heavens because I never know, not just when, but whether I will be paid again.
In 2014, Amnesty highlighted a range of labour abuses in Qatar. People who were paying exorbitant recruitment fees, being misled about the work on offer to them, living in appallingly dirty accommodation, having their pay delayed, and also forced labour.
So there are 6 people living in this really small room, and this is where they cook their food, and this is where they sleep. Or they have common toilets at the back, and he's just saying that it's in pretty bad shape.
This workers' welfare issue has come about long before we were awarded the hosting rights. Before answering to international media and before answering to international organizations, we owe it to ourselves to hold ourselves accountable for what kind of country we'd like to live in.
Qatar se mostró sensible ante las críticas por el trato que recibían los trabajadores migrantes y ese año prometió realizar una reforma drástica.
I've been in Qatar as recently as February 2016, and yet we see the same problems there as before. Fundamentally, the situation has not changed.
Este estado del Golfo posee la tercera mayor reserva de gas natural y petróleo del mundo, y su población también es la más rica. Necesita contratar trabajadores extranjeros para el sector de la construcción, y estas personas proceden de algunos de los países más pobres del mundo, como Nepal, Bangladesh o Pakistán. El origen del problema radica en un sistema de patrocinio del empleo conocido como kafala.
Amnesty does not oppose kafala itself, but our concern with it is that it requires a worker to have a sponsor who is a Qatari, who will give them permission to work in Qatar and also when they can leave the country and whether they can change employer. Now, this might seem innocuous, but what it basically means is that workers cannot literally change their job if they're not happy there, can't leave the country if there's some sort of a situation without their sponsor's permission. It creates an incredible power imbalance between employers and workers. So when workers are not happy about their conditions, employers know that they can hold them back, that they can prevent them from finding other jobs, or they can hold that against them and say, well, I will not release you if you complain to the authorities about your situation.
Como consecuencia a la condena general a Qatar, tras la información revelada por Amnistía Internacional, entre otros actores, sobre el vergonzoso trato que recibían los trabajadores migrantes en el país, quienes supervisaban las obras de construcción en las sedes de la Copa Mundial se vieron obligados a tomar medidas. El Comité Supremo de Organización y Legado elaboró un conjunto de normas para la protección de los trabajadores que se empezaron a aplicar en febrero de 2014.
We have developed our Workers' Charter that is already available to the public. The Workers' Charter builds upon what is available under Qatari labor law and is available right now for everybody to see, and it is our commitment towards workers' standards.
Las normas ocupan más de 100 páginas y detallan los requisitos para la contratación y el empleo ético, los contratos vinculantes, la forma y el momento de pago a los trabajadores, los permisos por vacaciones, los gastos de repatriación, la atención médica y de forma destacada las condiciones de alojamiento.
As all of us know, lots of things look very good on paper. It's in the practice that we need to see changes made. Since the introduction of the welfare standards, we've documented a range of labor abuse on the World Cup site.
Ahora te pueden encarcelar por tomar fotografías o realizar grabaciones en los campamentos de trabajadores. Sin embargo, Amnistía habló con 234 trabajadores, migrantes en la zona Aspire y el Estadio Jalifa, sedes del Mundial. Todos ellos fueron contratados tras las introducciones de las normas para la protección. Ninguno quiso aparecer en la grabación, así que utilizamos actores para que expresaran su testimonio. Los 234 hombres afirmaron haber sido engañados, al menos en un aspecto de las condiciones de empleo, ya fuera en el salario a recibir, las horas que tenían que trabajar o el tipo de trabajo que se les ofrece.
I am an electrician and I agreed to electrician work. But when I came to Qatar, they gave me only electrician work for first 2 months. After that, they said I had to do iron fitting work. I felt I had no choice because there was no choice. I can't leave Qatar or change jobs.
Problem is that we have people who have often struggled to find work back home from very humble backgrounds, often illiterate, in a very disempowered position. When they end up in places like Qatar, in fact, not only are they already debt-ridden, it turns out the job on offer is actually for much less pay, might even be much different conditions to what they agreed to. And they're stuck there. They can't leave. They can't even change jobs in that country. They're stuck in a cycle of abuse.
Los empleadores o sus agentes habían confiscado el pasaporte de los 234 trabajadores, infringiendo la legislación qatarí y las normas para la protección de los trabajadores del Comité Supremo.
My boss said, work for another 1 to 3 months and accept whatever you get. If you don't work for 700 riyals, you won't get paid and you won't get your passport back.
They might as well have taken their identity, because in Qatar and many other countries in the region, a worker who is caught without any kind of identity documents is considered an absconded worker. That's a criminal offense in Qatar. You can be put in jail.
A más de la mitad, 132, les pagaban siempre con retraso. En algunos casos, muchos meses después de la fecha límite mensual.
All I want is my salary, like he promised, and on time.
The salary is $200 per month. It is not enough to cover my living expenses, my debt for the recruiter fee, and to send money home for my family.
Now, when you remember these are workers who have paid thousands of dollars often to recruiters back home to come in, have taken loans to pay for that under enormous debt clouds, when that pay, which is low, is delayed, it basically puts these people in an incredibly terrible situation.
Y muchos de esos hombres aseguraban que no les habían proporcionado permisos de residencia válidos.
It's their lifeline. It's what allows them to get access to medical care, other services, and without it they can be arrested by the police at any moment as absconded workers. Migrant workers cannot themselves get residence permits because they need their employer to do it for them.
En virtud de las normas para la protección, también hay un procedimiento general de quejas para que los trabajadores presenten denuncias, pero son reacios a utilizarlo.
I don't make any complaint. I am scared. They'll cancel my visa. If I lose this job, they will throw me out of the country. But I will still have a huge debt to pay.
If I complain, I'm worried the manager will send me back to my country without any money.
To their credit, the Supreme Committee has acknowledged that there is a problem. They're keen to talk to us about what can be done to address these things.
El gobierno de Qatar dice que está trabajando con todos sus contratistas para implementar y hacer cumplir las normas laborales. Y con el tiempo, las condiciones de los trabajadores migrantes mejorarán. Pero, ¿Qué ocurre con la organización responsable del Mundial de Fútbol, el órgano rector del fútbol a nivel mundial?
The winner to organize the 2022 FIFA World Cup is Qatar.
FIFA has not done enough to address this situation from the very beginning. It should have known, even before it awarded the World Cup to Qatar, that this is an environment where labour abuse is endemic. In its bidding process, it made no mention of human rights, let alone labour rights. Where the torch of amnesty has shone on this particular site, we have seen this labour abuse. But what about the other 7 World Cup stadiums that are to be built, where we are not working? FIFA is the key to all of this. It is the key partner to resolve the abuse as well, because its impact is well beyond football. It is the one that brings the World Cup to places like Qatar, the most high-profile sporting event in the world, even bigger than the Olympics. FIFA has not only a responsibility under international human rights standards, but a moral responsibility given its influence globally.